Hello everyone and welcome to the new series of Agile Toolkit Hangouts. In these Hangouts we are going to develop a new backend for jQuery UI homepage. This is our open source initiative and we will be publishing all the sources online as well as all the videos we produce along the way on YouTube so that others can learn more about building projects with Agile Toolkit and also about our particular workflow. Your host would be myself and Yanis, and we are coming a long way. So since this is the first episode, I'll give us ourselves a bit of introduction. And also I need to mention that hi there. I also have to mention that in this podcast episodes, we will be going forward very, very quickly. So if you do not understand something, you can always use the chat option. But if you completely lost track, you can come back and then rewatch the videos when they will become available. When we have the complete series, which I think should be about 10 episodes or so, we will publish them using torrents. So you will be able to download, remix them, use for your internal learning, do whatever you want with them. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is the jQuery website, what it is. So we have a jQuery and we have jQuery UI, which recently just got updated to the new design. So this is jQuery website. jQuery UI is brand new. Probably, I think it's a few weeks ago. And the front end is nice, but the back end is running on top of WordPress at the moment. And I don't think it's the best way for handling such a site. So we'd like to contribute and build a better backend. A few words about Yanis. So Yanis, would like to introduce yourself and tell me what your interest in this.
Yeah, hello everyone. So as you might know, I've been working with Romans for a very long time with different web projects, particularly using the Agile Toolkit for last 3 years or so, but been with Romans while he developed earlier versions of the toolkit as well. And in this project, me and my company we are going to contribute to this project to make this open source initiative more productive in its early stages and yeah, to help Romans get this project up and running.
Right. I'll remind you that Yanis's company is specializing in development of Agile Toolkit applications for third-party customers. Can be found at ambienttech.lv. So that's a nice design you have. And they develop all sorts of things and also are working on a couple of really interesting plugins, which they will release shortly. Now I will talk about the technicalities of how we're going to do it. We have a server. This is our development server where me and Yanis have access, and what I will be doing is it's a standard Linux server running Gentoo. I will be running screen and enabling access for Yanis so that Yanis could join my screen, and then either of us would be typing in there. So that's him typing now. Also, you can actually participate by opening this address, which is jQueryui.agiletoolkit.org. And as we do modifications here, this is our just hello world background. You will be able to preview that in your browser. So I have just added a link to more information here. Okay, so one of us will be typing there. Okay, So and yes, and we have an Agile Toolkit wiki, which was outdated for a long while, but we're now updating it, and I have added already 2 Hangouts. This is the current Hangout, which we're having right now. This is the second Hangout, which is gonna happen next week. It will happen on Friday. We're changing the time to 3 p.m. London time. So this is to better accommodate time for Yanis, and also a lot of our users and viewers are uncomfortable with the current time slot, so we decided to change it. Okay, Yanis. So we did a little bit of research. So how about I let you talk about what jQuery is at the moment and how it's distributed in repositories, while I'll show it on the screen.
Yeah, okay. So as you might know, the jQuery UI site at the moment is fully available through the GitHub. So everyone interested in that can go easily to the web page and clone your version of that and check how it's currently implemented. So what we are planning to do is we are planning to take advantage of that. First of all, check out the resources that are already available. And once we have that, we plan to dynamically integrate the current code they have developed into the Agile Toolkit solution. So, and as we do so, this is about to be a very interesting journey. And Romans, how about you tell about the high-level plan of doing that?
Yes. So we are permitted to do that. We didn't ask permission, but guys, obviously, invite anyone. They have licenses. We're going to continue use the MIT license for this project, and if you would like to help us in this project, you would be very welcome to contribute. I will publish on this wiki page. I will also include the link to our GitHub page where you can follow, fork, and commit changes. Our intention to use as much code from their backend as possible. So at the moment, all this backend stuff is being scattered across multiple repositories, and we will not change that, but we will take advantage of the content they have at the moment. Obviously, we're not going to use WordPress like they do and come up with our own template. And the question is, why do we want to do this? And there are a few answers. First of all, because we just want to mess around with it, and we want to prove that it can be done within a short time frame and with some convincing results. Second of all, we see it as our contribution back to the community. As you know, Agile Toolkit have been using jQuery UI. Yeah, so it says PHP framework with jQuery. Yeah. We have been using the name of jQuery and jQuery UI to power our widgets, and we simply want to contribute back, and possibly at some point would like to see the official website running our backend. But that's not the goal. The goal is to learn, to show you how it's doable, and get some code out there.
All right, so before this screencast, we already did some preparation. So what we did is we pretty much just set up the basic web root, and that we fetched all the external resources available for the GitHub at the moment, for the jQuery UI from the GitHub at the moment. So if you browse the external folder, you'll see what's inside there. So there's pretty much everything that they're currently using to have their site up and running, and yeah, and there's not that much else we've done so far.
Well, I added the file.
Continuing with,
index file. Yes. While you're talking, I'm creating the repository for our source code where we will be able to push it.
Yeah, so Romans will create a Git repository for this project, and when that is done, I believe we'll set up a basic Agile Toolkit website instance.
Yeah, can you meanwhile check out Agile Toolkit and do the initial installation of it.
Yeah. So, as you know, the Agile Toolkit is obviously available in the GitHub. You can check out it easily using multiple methods, and in our case, I'll use the SSH-based link to do so. So what we do is, if you look at my screen, it's very simple. You just type git submodule.
Do you want to use some modules?
Yeah, wrong link. Yeah, I think submodule is great, but I mean, it can be done differently, just by cloning it or by adding submodule. Yeah. I prefer submodule, but Romans, if you think that cloning is better,
it's all right. Let's have some module then.
We can do it that way. So what we do is git submodule add, then we show the link and show the target. So this will fetch the current Agile Toolkit version. Probably we'll need some add-ons. So common practices usually to check out to add that submodule as well. So when this is done, we just type some more commands, submodule, and now as you see, the link is pretty much the same as for Agile Toolkit, with slight difference. Okay, and this will clone the Agile Toolkit add-ons in our project. Okay, so yeah, in order to continue, we need a few things. First of all, we'll need some front-end library. So we create a folder, lib, inside
Isn't the whole thing from? Sorry, yeah.
Front-end PHP. Okay, let's introduce our own class. Front-end extends API front-end. So you can just double check that by here. Labs. Here you can see some Agile Toolkit code, and yeah, API front. We'll be using this one. There are other APIs for different purposes, but in our case, we'll start out with this one. So next thing we need to do is we need to edit the index file. In order to make the Agile Toolkit running, we need to do a few things. First of all, we need to include the magic loader. The loader handles all the file lookups, class lookups, and some very basic stuff. And when that is done, we need to create a new instance of our newly created API. So what, for instance, is new front-end. New query. Here we give some token for that. And that should pretty much conclude the initial setup of Agile Toolkit. Except that for some reason it shows it's can't. Yeah, and obviously we need to create page index, class page index extends page, and yeah, and that should be enough.
Right, we got initial setup of Agile Toolkit without the example application. So this is a clean install, nothing is working yet, and this is, for our purposes here, is the best. If you would like to know more about Agile Toolkit, I wanted to point first to the resource, which is our first tutorial. It can be found at agilettoolkit.org/tutorial. And if you follow the link, it will send you to YouTube, and there is a playlist of 12 videos with a total length of 14 hours. And this is one we already created and published, and you can learn about Agile Toolkit from the very beginning in here. So with this screencast, we'll be jumping ahead and only will focus on things we actually need to do. Right, so another thing I did while Yanis was talking is I set up the jQuery UI repository. So if you go to GitHub under ATK4/jQuery UI, and I also did an initial commit. So that's, let's see, lib page. Okay, so that should be up to date. So not only you can see what we're coding, but you can actually download that and clone on your computer. And while you're watching this, also try something locally. I also would like to encourage everyone to contribute to this. So we will be doing some stuff, but please, if you find anything you would like to fix or contribute, please do so. There are probably many things you could contribute as an exercise even for you. Right. So back to this screen then, and let's look about at the jQuery site at the moment and examine what we have to deal with. And this reflects our typical situation in a project. We have HTML. We're not going to use any of the backend right now, so probably let's assume this is the HTML we have got from our designer. And let me do the show page source in here. Yes, that's our source here. It is written in HTML5. I really like the way how it's being done, and it's open source. So let's grab it, I'd say, and save it into a file. So I'm gonna widget that, and we're done. And I'm gonna move the index into shared HTML, and then I'm gonna try opening on our site by adding shared HTML in here. Why is it working? Yeah, hold on. Why is it working? I thought they was supposed to have.
We haven't set up the htaccess. So.
Is it a base path or something? Oh, okay. They have the full URL for the whole thing, so that's why it's working. Okay, next thing. Yeah, I'll let Yanis do this, but well, let's explain. We will move the shared HTML inside the templates, and we're going to use it as a template. Meanwhile, I'll explain what it is. So the HTML code we got, it needs to have the header and footer and then some sort of things in the middle. But the way how Agile Toolkit approaches it, some parts of this HTML are going to be dynamic. Okay, so we have like, that's where the content starts, and it's gonna end there. But we're also gonna have menu, and we're probably gonna have some other links.
In fact, we have already working jQuery UI site based on Agile Toolkit. If you open
is it done already?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just refreshing.
Cool, yeah. Can we show that this is actually dynamic? I don't know, maybe add a hello world in here, or
yeah. So why not? So let's the index page, and let's do some stuff here. So there are again multiple ways of doing so. But let's stick to parent init this and text.
We have a hello world object.
Yeah, I know. Just for a change.
Okay. Where is it?
It's at the very top. I mean,
Oops.
It's not visible due to the CSS.
Something is in there.
So yeah.
Something is incorrect. Did you place the content incorrectly?
No, it's a warning box. How was it?
I wonder if they have the CSS attached.
I mean, it shows for me at the top. So okay, let's go back to this. It's working. We can do this way. So we can put some just for time being some stuff so everybody can see that color is white.
Well, let's first of all, I'm gonna create a new page. We have page index. I will create a new page which is gonna be called test PHP. And on that test page, I'm gonna just copy whatever Yanis wrote there. And let me add the form here. It's a standard form. Oops. Something like that. And okay. And if everything works fine, it should be able to add a question mark, page equals test. and we should have a test there. But yeah, it says it requires a jQuery support or GUI support. So to get that, let me go to lib inside of front end.
And as you saw, a very basic installation of Agile Toolkit does not require any additions to the API frontend. However, when we want to start work with some jQuery stuff, what we do is we start out with adding this GUI object, which handles most of just.
So what GUI object does, it actually dynamically starts including jQuery. So by default, if you wouldn't do that, you would have a web page on Agile Toolkit without the support of jQuery, and then you could still change the shared file templates. I'm gonna try using Nerd3. Can I do that? Nope. Okay. So I will need to go to templates, default, shared. Do you hear that clicking from me? Or it's not clicking? Yeah.
Slightly.
Okay, so first of all, Agile Toolkit needs to know where the scripts go, and probably the best way is if we open ATK4, templates, shared, HTML, and take a little peek in here, what kind of tags that are using here. So first of all, JS include tag is necessary. This is where Agile Toolkit will be able to include jQueries and stuff like that.
Basically any JavaScript.
Yeah, also we don't want that to be to include existing scripts. Okay, so we'll need to probably get this out. jQuery, don't need that. Where is it? What is this?
I think we can investigate that later on.
Themes. Yeah, it's just I don't know if it includes jQuery UI somewhere in here. Resizable. Yeah, as I said, this HTML is beyond me. It's pretty well written, and we also need to define document ready so that the GUI could actually include some stuff which will be executed on document ready. So again, I'm just placing that into my custom shared file somewhere over here. Okay, we're back to our regular page. And let me just move the content tag to the proper location. So content is where all the content in the page is going to appear, and we just need to position it properly. Okay, let's look at what's new. What's new? So that is the start of content. As you can see, I'm not changing any HTML which is already there. I'm simply putting tag around it, and on the fly, Agile Toolkit will substitute that. Dive in. Twitter. Blog, follow it, ref. Okay, is that div necessary there? I don't think.
Gentry content, most likely
so
it is.
We do that. Okay, so everything looks fine. Stuff on top looks good, and we even have a form in here. Does it work?
We don't handle it.
Yeah.
So apart of that, it should work.
So yeah, we don't handle that, but we might need some additional JavaScript files.
I'm just closing up, so it's easier to see what we are doing. Yeah, now once this is readable, so actually we can just remove it, and the index page will stay normal.
Okay.
At least it should.
Okay, let's set up the pretty URLs. So all of this page is okay. What is my the page is using pretty URL. So if I click on the draggable, for example, it goes on the main site / draggable. We need to make pages for. So if I type test here, oops, it should open the page. Yeah, you want to do the htaccess there.
Yeah, but I'm a bit lazy, so I won't write it all from scratch. I'll just
Copy
take it
paste.
from the current package, yeah, which we use in most of the projects. So 1 second.
Yeah, I think Agile Toolkit is an amazing framework for lazy people.
No, for people who want to do things fast. So here we go. Except we need just like that.
Okay. Uploads. We don't need uploads.
Yeah, maybe we'll need so. Yeah, but
just
fair
keep
enough.
it clean.
Keep things
and
clean.
For HTML, do we need also redirect for HTML? Okay.
We might
do not need for now. Okay. Test. Someone with a loud microphone joined. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's our test page. So we created a beautiful URLs now, and now we probably need to do some sort of replace for those interactions. But let's next work on the menu. So we have menus here. I think Yanis, I see 1, 2, 3 menus on the left. Well, actually 4. So 4 separate menus, which we can create as a widgets. What do you think?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, well, maybe we should start with the top menu, which is demos, download, and all that stuff.
You see, it kind of points to okay, let's develop. That's fine. Oh yeah, I suppose we can do that. So we're gonna have a lot of submenus in there. In fact, there is a pretty complex structure. Let me just show you one thing. I'm gonna go to the default jQuery UI side and show now if I click on draggable, you see the background will change. But when the page refreshes, the background is back, and it's kind of not looking very nice. So the background changed when I clicked, and then it back to this default state. So the state is not being properly displayed. Obviously, the guys will make something custom in there, but we'll do that for them as well. So let's go to our templates default shared file, and find the proper place. What's for the M's here? We're looking for draggable. Okay, that's I think that's our menu number 1. Sizable, selectable, sortable. So in order to convert that into a widget, we need to give first prepare a template. And the way how we do it in Agile Toolkit is by defining tags, by setting tags. I'm just gonna format this a little bit so you see where the menu item starts, where the menu item ends. Okay.
I think we can kill
we're not gonna kill.
those.
So I said we're not gonna kill anything. We're just gonna leave the everything there. But we will use tags, and we're dynamically gonna kill them on the fly. So that's our. Oh, sorry, that's the left menu. Is it okay if I start with this menu over here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. So, so what am I doing? I'm putting that menu in here. Again, just to look at. Let me open ATK4 templates shared menu HTML, which is the default template for the menu, and we're building a custom template. So we just need to use the same tags in here. So inside menu, we're gonna have item. Then around the first item, we need to set menu item. Then this thing closes down. So does the menu item tag. And finally, after all the other tags are closed, we should close item and menu. What is UL? I think the UL needs to be, no, the menu should be after UL. And I have slight indentation problem in here. So I'll just do it like this. I think tags are okay. So just by adding tags, nothing is happening with the front end in there, and we need to add the dynamic part of the tags. So we need to add the actual menu in in our lib front end. Okay, this I'll start with hello world. So I'm placing hello world in this area in here. You see that's been now replaced with hello world. I'm usually doing that just to try, but we'll need a menu, and we also need to use that region as a source of the template as well. So that's the fourth argument, and we need to menu item a couple of times. Test for now. Okay, we'll add a few tests here, and as you see, it doesn't show us the test. It says draggable.
Which is fine because we just haven't added more tags into our menu tag.
Draggable. Resizable, selectable, sortable, and I think that should be it. Right, Yanis, do you want to place tags in?
Yeah, why not? So, yeah, as you can see in Agile Toolkit default menu template, we use a few tags. First of all, we have class, href, and then the label. Class has been set to active if the current page is active. The href is obviously URL for the respective menu item point, and the label, as it suggests, is the label. So what we do is we go down to our shared HTML, look up the menu item template, and we do some replacements. As Roman said, we're not killing anything, so I'll keep continuing this good approach, and we'll use the long tags. So first of all, we put the href inside, then we enclose the label with the label tag, like that. And furthermore, we can add also later this class active, but I will not do that now because we need to see where and how
jQuery
did just that,
has implemented this is what I have. So the sidebar aside and then sidebar aside active. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not a class. How can we make link active?
Yeah, so we can
Should we just
that
copy that thing into our custom CSS file?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So why not introduce the custom one? And if we introduce customs, then probably we can, we can do it like that. Class is class, which we would set to active or UE active state, depending on the menu object that we're using.
Can you also set the proper classes for highlighting the menu? It should be either empty or current.
Yes, in order to do so, you have to look at the, where are we? A little bit lost. Yeah, okay. So basically what we do is we go to Agile Toolkit, we find lib, oh sorry, where am I? Sometimes you can get lost. Okay. You go to lib, you find the menu object, the menu, here it is. So, and what you can see is it extends menu basic, okay? So we go back to the menu basic, and this object has a few parameters, and one of those, what we are looking at is the current menu class and an active menu class, and in particular we are interested in this current menu class. Okay, so if we want to change that to just active instead of UE state active, we can do that pretty easily by using the first argument for the add method, and if we pass there an array, we can replace some internal variables to whatever we want them to be. For instance, in our case, we can replace the current menu class with, let's say, active. All right. So whenever the page is active, the class active will be added to the A tag as specified here in the template. Okay, so we can close that. Okay, I'll just move it back so it's one line.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Roman, have you created
so
the
let me
custom
show you.
CSS file or not just yet?
Templates default CSS has a file called Agile, and this is the new class. So we need to set class active on the link if we want.
Okay,
I can move
delete,
to
so
A. It doesn't really matter.
Factor that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Probably move to A as it was an example.
You need to include the file though.
Yeah, and in order to include it, the simplest way obviously is to use the shared HTML, and yeah, and just include it here. And there's one tricky thing that we're not giving the full path to any CSS file. Instead, we can use just the template file, and inside that we write like this.
A built-in controller for Agile Toolkit, which will look in the proper folder, which is template/default/CSS, and it will look for the file Agile CSS, and it will replace this bit over here with the proper link. So even if we go into the subfolder, it will properly reflect what we need to see there.
Another moment, I think we would still need to have the HTML translation, as by default, when the menu points are added, they contain the HTML extension, and that wouldn't be mapped to our index.php files. So I think we'll need this in order to keep our site working. Okay, and yeah, as you can see, if you refresh the page, under the section Interactions, we have fully functional menu. So all the items there, and all are clickable. Obviously, those render an error now as we haven't implemented actual pages at the moment. But
yeah, so let's go to
as
page.
far as it concerns the menu, it's working.
Test.
Let's create the druggable.
So we need to know change that. Okay, let's see if it works. Yeah, it is highlighted. Pretty cool. Yeah, something
so
wrong
we have made our first
okay,
improvement to the jQuery site.
If we make some mistakes and someone doesn't like the gradients as they used in here, because I think the problem with my template file actually, if I do, is that it's not using the full path to the gradients. There should be some image. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why, but it's not fully working. Or maybe it is. Yeah, if I have the A, it's kind of gradual, but then it's not. Okay, that's no problem. So we have the working menu, and that is good. We still need to implement the top menu and other menus here on the page. And if anyone from our audience would like to do that, please feel free to submit the patches. If not, we'll do it at some later screencasts. I'm also pushing the changes to our GitHub page as we go. Okay, let me show you. So for commits, so you already should be able to see it in here. Yanis, I think we need to also include the submodules for the externals. For now, I just have them in ignore.
Well, I'm not sure if we need to add those as external as submodules, because we will be kind of reusing those.
Let's do the first magic.
And
as you see, we have lots of pages in there. And if I go on Agile, jQuery UI, if I click on, let's say, droppable. Okay, drop. It's a bad example, but let's say I click on about. It goes on the about page /about, and it shows me this text. So question is, where is this coming from? And let's just do a grep. It's gonna search all the files, and oops, dot, and it says this is inside external jQuery.ui.com page /about. So my suggestion is that we actually take this folder and use it as a template. We have exactly the same structure as our template system. So Yanis, do you want to include that as a resource for the template? Okay.
We can try. Yeah, why not?
Maybe you can find some magic code which you can copy paste inside.
Yeah.
So meanwhile I'll explain what I mean. So. Okay, so these files, they contain chunks of content which are represent the content on those particular pages, and they use I think WordPress, and they have a manual support for that. It just includes the file. In our case, we have a powerful templating engines, and we just need to say that these files contain the content, the static content in there.
Should be fine.
Okay, so draggable is our dynamic page. Droppable works. Yeah, okay, so something works here. Something doesn't. Droppable works. I think we need to also fix the top menu before we actually will be able to see some result. And again, I'm gonna use a different approach, and there is a different type of menu in Agile tool which is called menu light. Shared. And the way how menu light is working, it's different. So in here we create a template for the menu item, one item, and then it was reused as many times as necessary. Sometimes your menu is just too specific, have very custom HTML, and I'm just gonna try that as well. Top menu, bottom.
Yeah, so you can see from the code, the integration of top menu should be very simple and straightforward.
Okay. Some things do not need support is in here. Blog is external, and yeah, so there's a different pattern in here, and we just need to do it properly. Also, for these things, I need to wrap them around with a tag called page, which will ensure that the link to this page is properly converted into the URL. Okay, we're here. Well, actually, no, we should be done with this. Download, yeah, just click download. It goes to download HTML. What about the about page? This is the first static page, custom template used. Page is fun. Okay, something is not including properly. About. Okay, support works. We're still on our side. About doesn't.
Yeah, and speaking of the about, we'll just
because some of they kind of only use these bits and pieces for a bit of JavaScript code which is called grunt, I think Grunt.js, which is like a preprocessor which builds all the HTML pages for them. jQuery UI. We're not using any of that. Instead, we need to recreate the logic using the PHP. Grunt.js page. Okay, that's the about page, right? So it's did you include the proper page?
Yeah, might be. I made this mistake there. Web frontend. What it appears to me that it's using actually a different about page.
No.
Wasn't it here? Share.
That would be shared/pages.
About, I think it was.
Templates.
Lib share.
Page.
Share pages.
Yeah, we should get rid of that.
Page. Yeah, it is here. So it's using this one at the moment. So, and this then indicates that it's not, yeah, so is it like that? It then indicates that there is an issue with that location, okay? So maybe let's see if this is set properly. So what if we do like that? Then, oh, and wasn't it templates?
I think it's a question of precedence, which one is first
that.
and which one is second. Support still seems to work fine.
And the location. Yeah, let me sort that shortly. That means location. So pathfinder and location, and it was like this. So this is the default approach how it's doing it. Okay, accept. So external, I think it was like template jQuery UI call. Okay, let's see if it will include proper one. No, it still doesn't. Yeah, usually there are not many places you include the templates from, but it should be working that way.
Not sure
what I'm doing wrong. I'm running location. It seems it doesn't like the location for some reason.
No, I think it works because it's just the precedence is not incorrect. Because if I go to the support page, then you know it is there.
Okay,
try commenting out your
yeah.
work, your code, and I think it will be, yeah. Let's see if this will yeah. It's
you mean this one?
It's gone now.
Okay.
So we need to add this location before.
There
was a method which would be called by add default location. I think that's what it was called. So if we want that to take precedence, we need to move it into a method. Either location or locations. Can you look it up? It's in the Pathfinder. Oops.
Yeah, let me have a look.
Okay.
Default locations was S.
And right, so we might not be able to set the parent properly like that. I don't think there is a method
You
like
should
that.
call parent at default locations after that,
Yeah.
I believe.
So at this point, we don't have base location.
No, sorry.
So what do we use as a parent here? That was incredibly cool.
Base location is location added from the add location. So there is.
Yeah.
So
Can
our
we use
application should be set as the
something
base
to?
location for
We
the
need
fast
to
one.
basically set two things. The description of our application just explains what's going to be inside the folder, and we need to tell where the folder is located. I think it was called set path, and also we need to say where it's located on the web. Set URL of some sort. It is when we use it. Yeah, how is it? Relative path.
There was set relative path.
That
You mean?
It's going to be on top. And is that all?
Yeah.
Okay, still doesn't know. We need to set something else. Okay, font templates. Sorry. Okay, so that base location, set base path, base directory, get real path. Oh, let's just use the same thing here. So we're gonna get the real path, and we're gonna use set base path in here. Okay, that's good. So it somewhat works. I think it should be templates. No, template is correct. By the way, yeah, let's try one more thing. If I go into ITK for lib frontend, sorry, API frontend, and see how it actually uses static page inclusion in here. Okay, so try to load static page, and if it gets the exception, it does something else. But let's throw it. Two. Right, so now we see that the page, the actual error, what happened when we try to load the static page, but we also see what location it attempted to find it. Template.
So as you can see,
Yeah.
it is missing the external jQuery on the first line in the 0th
So let's move external here. Okay, let's check about. Yay, lovely. So we have the top menu working as well. Also, I was just examining how the top menu is working, and it appears that they have a class called current menu item, which we need to assign to Lee. And if we have this class, then it will be highlighted. So to make that one work, oops, we'll need to, what the hell? Did you use SH?
One second. I used SH, yeah. Before that.
Okay, it should be back in. Maybe, yeah, it's just opened my other window. Yep. Okay, that's done. So we're gonna use a different class for this menu logic, and the way how that one works is by putting current demo. So we need to put tags in here. The tag starts with a current, and it ends with a page name.
But can you explain to us why
because
we're not
it's a
using
mix of
the
different
menu
URLs
objects
in
here,
here,
but
and
instead using this approach
also
for the
just
top
trying to
menu
use
rather than
something different.
Because using this API URL when you're building your URLs to different locations, you can also use such thing as you use absolute URL and then set the server name for the location, and that way you can have in your menu also external links that created dynamically.
Yeah, the comment.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think it should work. Why not?
Just wondering if this will work out of the box.
Current. So the whole idea of this widget, it will read this template, it will find the class called current, sorry, the tag called current. It will read the class name from it, and then it will identify on which page we're located at the moment, and it will replace the appropriate tag with the content of the current tag. So in order to make it active, we need to go to front end and add the menu here. This, yeah, so that's a different implementation of menu. As you know, you can have as many implementations of menus as you want in Agile Toolkit. Add as many classes as you want. Menu.
We're gradually approaching the end of the first screencast for the jQuery UI project. When Romans will be done with implementation of the top menu, I believe we would like to present you with the plan for the future on this project. As you saw, the quick installation and the quick fetching of the existing resources enabled us to at least partly enable the existing jQuery site to make it run on the Agile Toolkit. Now we are implementing different widgets within the index page, and we already showed you that all the other default Agile Toolkit elements can also be used, such as form. Also, what is great is that inside the static pages we are reusing the content that the jQuery UI had in the GitHub. So this means that we are not killing, we're not adding, but we are just properly putting together the stuff that they already have. One thing is that in the content pages, there are different templates being used to display the content. So one of the next things that we are about to do is add new shared files, which will be used for the inside pages. So when Romans will be done with refactoring of the top menu, I believe we might also
why do we need a separate,
have at least an initial glimpse at that stuff as well. Because if you examine jQuery UI site, you can see that the content section is different. So then there are two options. Either we go into details and see what exactly is different, or we can just create a different shared file for the content pages. So I think if we don't want to do extra cutting, then just fetching some internal page and using that as a different shared file could make it much easier to get that stuff up and
running. The mistake I did is I used the dash instead of
so Roman, tell us how is the top menu going?
But it's worked pretty much as advertised over here. So this is the kind of introduction and documentation for the menu light, how it's using. You can read that in the source code, and yeah, it's currently copying this. And as you see, as I go to support page, it highlights the support. If I go to development, the stuff on the bottom appears, and so on. Steamroller probably is included differently. I'm not sure about the download pages either. Okay, the rest of the pages are okay. And as you remember, this thing is dynamic here. Why is it demos not highlighted? Okay, demo S. Okay, now it's being highlighted, and this one still works. So we will end podcast for now. Screencasts. We will start sharply on time next week on Friday. And Janice, do you want to push this while I'm summarizing? So our plan for the next thing would be to set up, I suppose, maybe. No, that's going to be later. So what we want to do is include the examples in here, but we don't want to simply include, because if you look at the way how jQuery works at the moment, it uses iframes, and I have to say this is a shame. So this is an iframe. This is an iframe in here, and when I click that, it loads the page inside an iframe. This doesn't really work well when I copy pasting this. There are a couple of problems in there, and I believe that it could be done better. And Agile Toolkit provides exact way, because Agile Toolkit allows us to load the pieces of page dynamically, pretty much without any harm to the surrounding things. And would be also nice to see how we can bind those templates and include them from the separate folder, because the demos live in a different folder there. The only thing with iframe though is the scope. Yeah, if they have some in the source code, use something like draggable or maybe a class here, and it gets applied to all the elements around the page, it wouldn't look nice. I'm not sure what we can do about that.
Well, in the worst case, we can still reuse iframe where it really is necessary, but we'll see if we can somehow automatically transform the demos to work more properly and not apply to all the page,
Right.
but rather to the demo
And also, I
area.
would like to have an
I believe that
Ajax-based
should be
menu. So
possible.
for now, the menus are plain links. So I click about, it reloads the whole page. I would like about simply to load this thing in here. And if we compare with the default jQuery UI side, if we go to some sections, okay, maybe not. Oh, that's not a real side. That's not live side. Okay, so if I go inside about support, come on. Well, I think anyway that the stuff on the left side should actually change. If I'm under support, why is it showing me demos? But maybe that's all right.
Yeah, we wouldn't be killing any of the stuff, but we'll be making it to work super fast and
Something is wrong with this.
yeah, and using the native technologies that we already possess.
Okay, yeah. So join us next Friday, and thanks everyone for coming today. Just wondering if there is any big questions from anyone in the audience. Can you see them guys work together? Question for yeah, it's a very good team, and that's why, as I said from the start, if you'd like us to work on any projects, we would be glad to do so. For the file endings, we would prefer to use LF. The question was, what do we use for line endings? And ideally, that would be LF.
Yeah. Because CRs appear as those Ctrl+M's in the file.
I'll upload this to YouTube as soon as I can.
Okay, thanks everyone.
We'll post updates inside our Google Plus page. Now, can I ask you to click on the second Hangout here and just check your time, because it probably will show you in your time zone when it's going to happen. For me, it's 3 p.m., but for you might be some other time. And make sure if you're coming, then say yes, that you will actually come for the next Hangout. Okay, thanks, Yanis, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.